Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jeannie Aegis, your self-care coach. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the back to the basics version of how to eat healthy without the restrictive dieting, without the keto, the intermittent fasting, the skipping meals, the taking out whole food groups. We're going to be talking about eating the way you want to eat in a way that is non-restrictive so that you can improve your overall health, so that if your goal is to lose weight, so that you could lose weight and be a lot more happy and healthier. So if this is something you're interested in, then be sure to stick around. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. If you are new and just joining for the first time, a warm welcome to you. Be sure to stick around and also consider subscribing. I post weekly videos all about prioritizing self-care, how to love ourselves, how to live without guilt so that we can be our most happy and healthiest self. And in today's video in particular, I want to talk to you about healthy eating, and that includes not restricting, dieting, yo-yo dieting in terms of what we eat. Because life is enjoyable and we should be able to kind of indulge and eat the things we want to eat without feeling like we're restricting ourselves. So my very first point I wanted to make is to also enjoy the food that you eat without dieting. And I know people that have taken whole food groups out, such as carbs, or going keto, intermittent fasting, skipping meals. But if you think about it, that is really counterproductive and unsustainable, because it sends you on a vicious cycle of craving, then binging, and then feeling guilt. And I know some people that have ended up gaining even more weight back from doing that. And at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself whether it's worth it. Because if you're not enjoying the process anyway and you end up gaining the weight back, then what's the point? And it's not gonna work, and it's gonna leave you feeling possibly burnt out, depressed. And so I wanna share with you that a part of a healthy living lifestyle is all about balance. I speak about how I go by the 80-20 rule in our house, and we like to 80% of the time focus on predominantly plant-based living. So it doesn't mean that we are vegans or vegetarians. It means that 90% of our diet is predominantly based on whole foods, and the rest of it, 20% of it, would be for a little bit of our indulgence. Having that as the main focus versus restricting ourselves will make sure that it is sustainable and enjoyable for all of us. All right, so what's exactly whole foods, right? Other than the supermarket whole foods, it's really food that's not processed. So it's food that it's pretty much in the original state that it came in. It is something that will spoil faster, and something that our great-grandparents will probably recognize, right? And more often than not, it pretty much has no ingredients or very few ingredients, and also there's no packaging that normally comes with it, and you could usually find it at the perimeter of the grocery store. And that's why a tip that I have for some of my clients is to shop outside of the grocery store and avoid going into the aisle. Now on the flip side, when we're talking about processed food, it's gonna pretty much bear very little resemblance to the original state that it came in. Also, it really doesn't spoil easily. So if you think of like canned foods, for example, and it's probably something our great-grandparents will not recognize. And when it comes to the ingredients list, it will be very long, right? So you always get confused in terms of the ingredients and all these different things that you can't even pronounce. And it's usually packaged or in a box, and it's something that you will find in the middle of the grocery store, right? In terms of all the aisles. The next point I want to really make is to let go of the all or nothing mindset. And a lot of success that I have in my program is all about the mind work, right? So how we think and how we perceive things will really dictate our success. If we constantly focus on healthy, 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 oh no, fall off the wagon and then just wipe out everything, then it's going to be very hard for you to continue on this journey of wellness. And really, it's a process. And there are gonna be highs and there are gonna be lows like everything else in our life. But it's important to set ourselves up for success. And that means that we ditch the all or nothing mindset and remember that every small step counts towards healthy living. So you don't have to transition straight overnight from the way that your current lifestyle was all the way to where you want to be, right? Because maybe that, depending on where you're coming from, you can't go from A to Z. Maybe it's A to B and A to C, right? So really start looking at where you're starting from and where you want to go, and slowly transition into that lifestyle to make it last and to make it sustainable. All right, my next little mindset hack when it comes to healthy eating is to make sure that you're not comparing yourself to anyone else. Everyone's body is different. All of our lifestyles are different. Our body composition is different. The way that my body's metabolism is and the way it breaks down food and sugar and fat and the way it stores it is gonna be different than someone else. And we need to really remember that and remind ourselves that if we see someone who seems to never gain weight just remind yourself that everybody's built differently and that you need to find what works for you. Another one I have for you is to make sure that you focus your plate on more fiber, more fat, and more protein. This will ensure that you won't be hungry maybe half an hour after consuming something, right? Consume things that are more volume but less calories. That will really help with the calories in and calories out so that you can maintain a healthy weight, so that you could think about losing weight if that's your goal. And if every plate that you have focuses on that, right? Predominantly loads of vegetables, have a healthy fat and a protein, that way you will stay full for longer and not be tempted to kind of crave the not so healthy food when you're hungry. That way you are definitely going to be a lot more successful than any of the fad and restrictive diet. My final point I wanted to make is to ask yourself when that sugar craving hits or that late night eating craving hits, whether you're actually hungry or is it due to something else behind that craving. So if you're actually craving it because you want to indulge through the 80-20 rule, then by all means go for it. But if it's because you just got into a fight with your significant other or husband or partner or friend, or stress from work is really keeping you up at night, or your baby's keeping you up at night so you're not really sleeping well, ask yourself that, right? And then that way you could begin to work on the stuff that's behind it versus always thinking about food, because there are other ways that you can also combat that trigger, right? You can go for a walk, you can journal, you can listen to music, you can exercise aside from food. And really what we don't want is to restrict ourselves and then go down this, negative spiral again. So that really is an important point I want to make, just to make sure that you keep that in mind and ask yourself every single time you have a craving. All right, here are my final thoughts. Being healthy is a lifestyle. It's not a quick fix. It's not something that should feel like a chore. It should not feel like a job. You should not feel bad if you fall off the wagon and have a hard time getting up again. It should feel like a journey and a process. It's gonna have its highs and lows. And believe me, I went through all of that. I, was a girl that struggled with a lot of body image issues, and I had to really work through it, and I had to transform my body. And that's why today I'm on a mission to really help people like you fix that frame of mind and that mindset so that you can be your most happiest and healthiest self. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. I really, really appreciate all the support, and don't forget to hit the like and comment below. Let me know if any of these mindset, healthy eating hacks resonates with you, and don't forget to share as well and subscribe. And again, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video.